Hello, Miss. I am Sandra Regina Ergada, and this is my assignment number 2 in Law of Demand and Supply. So in this video, I am going to answer the following questions. First, what is supply and demand? Then what is the law of supply and demand? Then for the second question, give example of demand and supply curve and schedule. Then third, what are the factors that affect demand and supply? Fourth, when do supply and demand shift left or right? So to begin with, allow me to answer the first question. So what is supply and demand? So supply refers to how much a product or service sellers are willing to offer at different prices, while demand is how much of a product or service buyers are willing to buy at various prices. So what is the law of supply and demand? So the law of supply and demand explains that when the price of a product increases, demand usually goes down while supply goes up. On the other hand, if the price goes down, demand increases while supply decreases. So this balance between supply and demand helps set the market price. For the second question, what are the examples of demand and supply curve and schedule? So a demand schedule shows how much a product people want to buy at different prices. So for example, if ice cream costs 50 pesos, people might buy 100 units, but if it drops to 10 pesos, they may buy 300 units. So a supply schedule shows how much sellers want to sell. At 10 pesos, they may only supply 50 units, but at 50 pesos, they may supply 250 units. So when graph, the demand curve goes down, showing higher demand at lower prices, while the supply curve goes up, showing higher supply at higher prices. So the point where they meet is called the equilibrium, where supply equals demand. And for the third question, what are the factors that affect demand and supply? So demand is affected by things like income, trends, and the prices of related goods. So if people earn more or a product becomes popular, demand increases. So if a similar product becomes cheaper or if the population decreases, demand might fall. So supply is influenced by production cost, technology, and natural conditions. So if it becomes cheaper or easier to produce a product, supply increases, but if costs go up or a natural disaster happens, supply can decrease. So when do supply and demand shift left or right? So demand shifts to the right or increases when more people want a product. For example, if income rises or a product becomes trendy, it shifts to the left, decreases. So when people lose interest, income fall, or population shrinks, supply shifts to the right or increases when it becomes cheaper or easier to produce, like using better technology or getting government help. So it shifts to the left or decreases if production costs rise or if there's a shortage of materials. So these shifts change how much is bought and sold even if the price stays the same. And that's all for my assignment number 2. Thank you, Miss.